I think there's something visually to the way we perceive things within a rectangular field that makes it easier to organize. I think about all these things in the reference, so especially when I'm drawing my hand, my own arm, or like my appendage, I think of it as like a first person self portrait. I use coffee to deal with my allergy fits. Ira is a head with a stick in a block of wood. So right now, I guess it's like a part of his shoulder blade. The roll of toilet paper. It's got this strange like figurative gesture where it's like kind of slouched. Feels like one shoulder's up. It's crazy how much, so I draped a flannel over the back of Ira. Makes it feel like a person. Oh yeah! Happy birthday, Kyle. I completely forgot because it was my mom's birthday yesterday and I always forget which side of her birthday. Well, actually, I forget what day her birthday is, and then I forget what day your birthday is, but I know it's all around now.
Happy birthday. I changed keys.
Shouldn't, like, I feel like this last year we should get, like, 2 levels. I love how on the screen, like, all I can see in the OBS window is little tick marks of the drawing. But here, there's, like, more linear stuff happening, I swear, but this is, like, how my drawings always started when I was in college. Finally finding its place in this cacophony of lines. It's just there's so much angular information going on because of that slouch in the shoulder that it's hard for me to like pinpoint the size of structures until I get all of the like spatial like scaffolding situated. Yeah, I guess that's the difference, is that these decisions are like multifaceted, so they address multiple things. They cross boundaries between objects and like space, and later on the decisions will become more individual. So they address like one quality rather than multiple. It's nice right now though because the warm light isn't competing in value with the external light. It's like an overcast day and I'm finding that like the temperatures are different, but the values aren't like this hyper contrast where like the interior is this like warm shadow. I'm gonna expand the bottom rung of this like format I've drawn myself. So I always keep a format drawn in, especially lately. It's becoming more and more of like a conceptual element in the image making. But it also helps me just define, like, representationally, I'd like to have control over the visual space, so like the design of what I'm presenting. And drawing a format tends to help me rather than relying on the format of a page. This allows me like leeway, able to push the limits of certain visual space. Sometimes I will kind of take out information that's like super confusing. I finally have erasers, so like the last few weeks I haven't had any erasers, which like isn't really a problem for me, but it's nice having one, is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we know my obsession with breakfast, but I feel like I remember you not liking breakfast because it can kill you. My arm is like, okay, resting. I want a VR set. I feel like it's worth investing in at some point when it starts becoming a little more affordable, because it's like so related to what I'm doing. At least like what I'm interested in about painting and art is this like interface with reality and like other types of reality. Which we do all the time here on Twitch. I think VR has a very like different way of isolating human perspective and like embodying it in a different realm. And then I'm also writing a bunch of stuff at the moment. which I will share at some point about these concepts, because I'm applying to a show soon, like in the next month. It's like something you have to like go out of your way to do when you're in the field the way that I am. Especially while I'm teaching, I'm like thinking so traditionally or thinking so technically that like the conceptual, like social aspect of the artworks becomes a little lost as you like practice and do different exercises. It starts to feel like everything is your art. Yeah, starting to like solidify some of these like angle and spatial decisions, because like right now there are multiple marks representing the same point in different places because my hand moves or things move around. But with this, I'm kind of focusing on contour, which is going to really like throw together that puzzle of all the shapes that are in this composition. Unless you want to completely ignore the map that you've laid down. Once you start responding to contour, you kind of lock yourself into a certain perspective. It's like a lot of these conversations are in the same boat. But there's certain things when you like are drawing a figure that like right now my arm keeps settling, and that settling, I could talk for days about that settling, like that like human action, that depression of space that happens when someone is like starting off rigid and like posed, and then as you move on into a pose, the figure becomes like more and more human. I like this relationship between the top line of this page and the top of this like floof coming off of the roll of toilet paper. So again, I'm reducing the size of this. So before I expanded it, and now I'm on to a reduction. Just drawing a line straight through everything I've drawn, and we'll call this the new format. So that's like that beginning step in this drawing where I was kind of pulling out little bits of information. That is entirely just imagination. It's all things that respond to many things at once. It's finding an angle in between three objects, you know. That's in a responded imaginary exaggeration of space. And I love doing that. That's what I'm here for.